After Luke Skywalker denied Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back, Vader was dragged to Mustafar and stripped down until survival itself became the lesson. By the end of this, you'll understand why this is one of the most punishing tests Darth Vader ever faced, and why it matters for how his story finally ends. Why this happens now. This is almost immediately after The Empire Strikes Back, when Vader believes he has finally found his son and expects Luke to join him. Instead, Luke chooses the void over his father and disappears. That matters because when Vader returns from Bespin, he isn't fueled by rage or triumph. He's carrying loss again, the same kind of loss that has followed him for most of his life. Not long after, Vader dismisses a direct order from the Emperor to hunt down the rebels and instead delegates that task. He does this to undertake a mission involving Sabe, Padme's former handmaiden, who forces him to confront unanswered questions about Padme's fate and legacy. That mission pushes him even further into mourning, and the Emperor notices. When Sidious summons Vader to the Imperial Palace, what he senses isn't hatred or ambition, it's grief. Sidious needs to teach Vader the dark side once again, so Sidious doesn't lecture him, he doesn't warn him, he tortures him with Force lightning, openly mocking the idea of Anakin Skywalker ever being the chosen one. And when Vader resists, he is overwhelmed by Mas Amedda and 2 royal guards who restrain him. Vader did manage to choke the 3 of them with the Force, and was then choked by the Emperor, who told Vader to forget everything from his past, and then he physically destroyed what remained of Vader's body. Then Sidious takes him back to the place where Anakin Skywalker was supposed to die. Mustafar as a weapon. Sidious leaves Vader on the same riverbank where Obi-Wan Kenobi left him burning years earlier. He needs Vader's anger to return. The Emperor orders Vader to rebuild himself without using the Force, and then leaves him there, abandoned again. At this point, Vader isn't the unstoppable enforcer we're used to seeing. He's broken, partially dismembered, and forced to crawl through volcanic ash using memory alone to keep moving. As Vader drags himself toward the old Separatist facility, memories surface uninvited. Obi-Wan leaving him, the slaughter of the Separatist leaders, and later, cutting down Obi-Wan aboard the Death Star. But here's the detail that matters. Vader begins to mentally replace Obi-Wan with Sidious in that memory. He promised himself he would bring suffering to his master. This is when Vader spots a distant figure laughing at him. Survival without the dark side. Inside the facility, Vader comes face to face with physical proof of his past choices. Newt Gunray's corpse is still there, and the weight of Mustafar's original massacre presses in. Jedi younglings, separatists, all of it ended here, and Vader is forced to rebuild himself, not through power, but through scavenging. He rewires mouse droids. He welds old battle droid limbs to his own body. There's nothing elegant about it. It's crude, painful, and humiliating. That's when Ochi of Bestoon reveals himself. Sidious's own words make the intention clear. Pain into fear, fear into anger, anger back into pain, as many times as it takes. Ochi isn't sent to kill Vader, he's sent to test him. But even in this state, Vader defeats Ochi. However, the test isn't over. The cave and the question of identity. With Ochi defeated, Vader demanded to know what his master's greater plan was before being interrupted by a distant voice. When Vader follows the disembodied voice into the cave, the challenge shifts from physical to existential. The voice taunts him with riddles about what he wants and who he truly is. The source is the Eye of Webbish Bog, an ancient being that doesn't answer questions freely. Vader doesn't bargain, he demands answers about his master. What he receives isn't answers or clarity, it's a Sith wayfinder. This moment often gets overlooked, but it's critical. Vader doesn't find Exegol through loyalty, he finds it through endurance and dark defiance. He earns the path by surviving what Sidious sent to break him. And even then, Ochi betrays him again, stealing his lightsaber and trapping him. Reclaiming power the hard way, Vader escapes the cave, finds his old ETA-2 Jedi Interceptor and confronts OG and the droid Crush pirates. He reclaims his lightsaber, he defeats the pirates, and then he uses their wreckage to repair his old Jedi ship. With OG captured, Vader activates the Wayfinder and sees the path to Exegol. When he leaves Mustafar, OG is sealed beneath the ship like cargo, another lesson in Vader's dominance. Why this test actually matters. This period is brutal for Vader, and not just physically. It comes at a time when the dark side isn't giving him clarity anymore. It's giving him reminders of everything he's lost. The Emperor senses that vulnerability and responds the only way he knows how, with betrayal and tests. Sidious repeatedly tests Vader, not to strengthen their bond, but to remind Vader of his place. Pain replaces trust, survival replaces loyalty. So when we eventually reach Return of the Jedi, Vader's betrayal of the Emperor doesn't come out of nowhere. It's the culmination of years of being treated as expendable, useful and powerful, but always disposable. My question to you is, did the Emperor design this test as a way to see if Vader was worthy of travelling to Exegol? If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting subscribe and let's uncover the galaxy's greatest secrets together. Thanks for watching.